Attention Raiders fans! Something big is stirring in Las Vegas right now, and you won't believe the details we've revealed. From shocking locker room drama that led to the release of a star player, to a bold playoff prediction that could change the entire AFC West. And finally, a coaching decision by Pete Carroll that could redefine the defensive identity of the season. This is the kind of news no Raiders fan can afford to miss. Just when we thought the offseason was winding down, boom! The Raiders dropped one of the biggest bombshells of the year. Wilkins, the star defensive tackle we all believed would be the heart of our defensive line for years to come, was suddenly released. Gone. Just like that. Do nothing. No warning, no real explanation. Until now. At first, fans were stunned. After all, Wilkins had just signed a massive 4-year contract in March worth $110 million, with $75 million guaranteed. He was one of the biggest signings of the offseason. But now, ESPN's Adam Schefter has revealed what he revealed on the Pat McAfee show, something no one expected. According to Schefter, the release wasn't due to injuries. It wasn't due to poor performance. It wasn't due to the salary cap. No, it all comes down to a moment in the locker room that turned into a major issue. Obviously, Wilkins, in what should have been a lighthearted moment, kissed a teammate on the head. Just a playful gesture, nothing more. But that teammate didn't react well. In fact, they were so offended that it created intense tension inside the stadium. When you talk to people in that locker room, Schefter said, they'll tell you that Christian playfully kissed a teammate on the head, and that same player took offense. That's why everyone is dancing around this story. And now it all makes a little more sense, right? The awkward silence from the front office, the vague press releases, all because of what happened behind closed doors. A locker room incident that couldn't be swept under the rug. But the point is, this wasn't just a joke gone wrong. Wilkins was already in a tough spot physically. He was placed on the physically unable to play (PUP) list while recovering from a broken foot suffered in the loss to the Denver Broncos in Week 5 last season. That injury ended his year, and he hasn't practiced since. He missed OTAs, skipped minicamp, and there were already unspoken concerns about whether he would be fully ready for training camp. And then came the kiss, the tension, the consequence. The Raiders acted swiftly. Not only did they release Wilkins, but they also voided the remaining $35.2 million in guaranteed money on his contract, a decision that prompted Wilkins to file a grievance with the NFLPA. It's going to be a mess, no doubt. In 2024, Wilkins played in just 5 games, recording 17 tackles and 2 sacks. That may not seem like much, but throughout his career, he's been one of the most consistent defensive tackles in the league. 372 tackles, 22.5 sacks, 1 interception, 4 forced fumbles, and 6 recoveries in 86 games. And let's not forget, this guy was the 13th overall pick in the 2019 draft. He's a big name with an impressive resume. What now? Well, this drama could spill over into the locker room. Will the players unite, or will it create more divisions? And from a football perspective, who steps up to fill this void on the defensive line? This situation could open doors for younger players, or even lead to another big signing if the front office feels pressured to resolve things quickly. But perhaps the most important question is this: was it the right decision? Letting go of a top-tier talent because of a locker room incident, however bizarre, is a bold decision, and one that could define the future of this season under Pete Carroll and the new regime. But if you think that was the only bombshell of the week, brace yourself, because a bold prediction from a Fox expert could change everything you think about the Raiders in 2025. Just as Raiders fans were processing the Christian Wilkins situation, Fox Sports commentator Nick Wright added fuel to the fire with a bold prediction about the AFC West playoff picture. On the Mina Kimes show with Lenny, Wright said he believes 3 teams from the division will make the playoffs this year, and yes, he expects the Raiders to be one of them. How about that? Wright said. I think the AFC West will have 3 playoff games again, and the Broncos won't be one of them. This statement is sure to spark debate, especially considering Las Vegas is widely considered the favorite to finish last in the division. In 2024, it was the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos who made the playoffs from the AFC West, leaving the Raiders out. But with the arrival of veteran quarterback Geno Smith and head coach Pete Carroll, Wright believes Las Vegas has overcome the obstacles. The Broncos and Chargers were surprise playoff contenders last season, exceeding expectations and establishing themselves as tougher opponents. However, Wright argues that Denver will regress, paving the way for the Raiders' rise. While Kansas City remains the clear favorite to win the division, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have ensured that the gap between the Chiefs and the rest of the division appears to be widening. Las Vegas's improvements at quarterback and coaching level cannot be understated. The team struggled in 2024 with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell leading the offense and interim head coach Antonio Pierce at the helm. Now Geno Smith brings veteran stability, while Carroll's track record of building competitive and physical times speaks for itself. And if optimism is growing among analysts, part of it has a clear reason. The new coaching staff is making exciting decisions, and the latest involves a familiar name and a surprising positional change change. Let me tell you something, my friend. When the Raiders brought in Pete Carroll, everyone knew things would change, but no one expected him to change the script so quickly. Look, Carroll didn't come to Las Vegas just to coach for a while. He came to build a new identity. And if you think this time will be just another average defense, think again. What he's doing now is setting the tone. And it starts with one of the most surprising changes of the offseason, redefining Jamal Adams' role. Yes, you chose right. Jamal Adams, once one of the most feared safeties in the league, is no longer a safety, at least not in Carroll's playbook. When Carroll and new general manager John Spytek signed Adams, many people shrugged. He's past his prime, they said. He can't cover and makeshift play to fill a hole on the depth chart. This is about strategy. This is Carroll being Carroll, using every ounce of experience he has to reshape his defense into something explosive. Adams, now 29, is a bit heavier than he was during his all-pro days, but that extra bulk, it suits him perfectly for this new role. He's not the same player he was in 2020, but maybe that's exactly the point. Special. What made him elite was his tenacity, his explosiveness at the line, his ability to stop plays before they started. He was a missile in the box, and Carroll is trying to fire that missile again, this time from the heart of the defense. Let's be honest, the Raiders need it. They need depth at linebacker. They need someone who can open gaps, pressure the quarterback, and punish runners. Adams can do all of that, and more. If he stays healthy and adapts quickly to the position with will, he could become the X factor of this defense. A spark, an unexpected piece that elevates a decent unit to dangerous. But here's the thing. This change shows us who Pete Carroll is as a coach. He's not here to play it safe. He's not just installing schemes. He's building a culture. And that culture is aggressive, fast, and fearless. Every change, every adjustment is aimed at maximizing what his players do best. And that's why this season feels different. So, a question for you, Raider Nation, is, are you ready to embrace this new identity? Because what we sold in training camp isn't just a player switching positions. It's a signal. Carroll is building a defense ready to strike first and strike hard. And think about it. If Jamal Adams thrives in this new role, what other surprises might Carroll have in store? One thing is certain. This is just the beginning. The road to the playoffs just got a lot more interesting. Are a controversial locker room gesture, a missed playoff prediction, and a former All-Pro's radical transformation into a linebacker signaling a time out of control? Or are we witnessing a Raiders renaissance under Pete Carroll? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, but later I will come back to update you with the latest news from the Raiders.